This is the most unbelievable love story I've ever heard, and it's about to blow your mind. Sarah thought she had her life figured out. 28 years old, engaged to her college boyfriend Marcus for 3 years, wedding planned for next spring. She worked at a marketing firm downtown, lived in a cozy apartment with her fiancé, and honestly believed she was living the perfect heterosexual dream. But then Maya walked into her office. Maya was the new creative director, fresh from Los Angeles with wild curly hair and this infectious laugh that could light up any room. Sarah told herself it was just admiration, just professional respect for someone so talented and confident. But deep down, something was stirring that she'd never felt before. The first few weeks were torture. Sarah found herself looking forward to meetings just to see Maya, staying late at the office hoping for casual conversations, and catching herself staring during presentations. She'd never questioned her sexuality before, never had feelings for another woman, but Maya was different. Maya made her feel alive in ways she didn't know were possible. One evening, they were working late on a campaign deadline, just the two of them in the empty office. Maya ordered Chinese takeout, and they sat on the floor of the conference room, laughing about client horror stories and sharing dreams about their careers. The conversation turned personal, and Maya mentioned her ex-girlfriend from college. Sarah's heart stopped. The word girlfriend hung in the air like electricity. Maya looked at her with those deep brown eyes and asked the question that changed everything. "Are you happy, Sarah? Really, truly happy?" Sarah burst into tears right there on the conference room floor. 3 months of suppressed feelings, confusion, and denial came pouring out. She told Maya about the dreams she'd been having, the way her heart raced during their conversations, the growing certainty that something fundamental was missing from her relationship with Marcus. Maya listened without judgment, holding Sarah's hand as she worked through the most terrifying realization of her life. "I think I'm falling in love with you," Sarah whispered through her tears. Maya's response was gentle but honest. "I've been waiting for you to realize that," she said with a soft smile. What happened next was the most natural thing in the world. Their first kiss was tender, hesitant, but filled with 3 months of accumulated longing. Sarah had never felt anything like it. Every kiss with Marcus had been routine, expected, safe. This was fire, electricity, a completeness she never knew she was missing. But reality crashed back in. Sarah was engaged. She had a life, commitments, a future planned with another person. The next few weeks were agony. She tried to act normal with Marcus, but how do you pretend everything's fine when your entire world has shifted? She'd catch herself comparing his touch to Maya's, his kisses to the memory of that night in the conference room. Meanwhile, Maya was patient but clear about her boundaries. She wouldn't be the other woman, wouldn't sneak around or break up a relationship. If Sarah wanted to explore this connection, she needed to be honest with Marcus first. The conversation with Marcus was brutal. Sarah sat him down on their couch, the same couch where they'd planned their wedding, and told him everything. About Maya, about her confusion, about the realization that she might be bisexual or even lesbian. Marcus's reaction was devastating. He accused her of cheating, of lying to him for years, of wasting his time. She tried to explain that she'd never known, never understood these feelings about herself, but he was too hurt to listen. He moved out that weekend, taking half their shared life with him. Sarah felt like she was drowning. She'd lost her fiancé, her planned future, her sense of identity, all for something that might not even work out with Maya. The doubt was crushing. What if this was just a phase? What if she was throwing away a stable relationship for something uncertain? Maya gave her space to process, which somehow made everything worse. Sarah spent 2 weeks in an emotional purgatory, questioning everything about herself. Her parents were shocked and disappointed. Her friends were divided. Some supported her journey of self-discovery, others thought she was having a midlife crisis at 28. But then Maya showed up at her apartment with flowers and takeout from their favorite Thai place. She looked Sarah in the eyes and said something that changed everything. "I love you exactly as you are, confused and scared and figuring it out. You don't have to have all the answers right now. We can discover them together." Their first official date was coffee at a small cafe in the Arts District. Sarah was nervous about being seen, about what people would think, but Maya held her hand across the table, and suddenly none of that mattered. They talked for hours about art, travel, their childhoods, their dreams. Sarah realized she'd never had conversations like this with Marcus, never felt this level of intellectual and emotional connection. 6 months later, they moved in together. Sarah had to learn everything about being in a relationship with a woman, from navigating LGBTQ+ spaces to dealing with family reactions to understanding her own evolving identity. Some days were harder than others. She faced discrimination at work, lost some friendships, and had to rebuild her relationship with her parents from scratch. But Maya was patient through all of it, helping Sarah discover not just her sexuality but her authentic self. They traveled together, explored new cities, met Maya's friends who welcomed Sarah with open arms. Sarah learned about queer history, pride events, and found a community she never knew existed. A year later, Marcus reached out. He'd been in therapy and wanted to apologize for his reaction. He told Sarah he was glad she'd found happiness, even if it wasn't with him. They couldn't be friends, but they could finally have closure. Sarah realized she'd never been happier. The relationship with Maya was everything she'd never known she wanted. They challenged each other, supported each other's dreams, and loved each other with an intensity that felt both comfortable and electric. Now, 3 years later, they're engaged themselves. Sarah still can't believe how much her life has changed. From a woman who thought she was straight and planning a traditional wedding to celebrating her identity and preparing to marry the love of her life. She tells people that coming out in her late 20s was terrifying, but ultimately the best thing that ever happened to her. Maya taught her that love isn't about gender or expectations or what other people think. It's about finding someone who sees your soul and loves every part of it. Sarah's advice to anyone questioning their sexuality later in life: trust your feelings. It's never too late to discover who you really are. Your authentic self is worth fighting for, even when it's scary, even when it changes everything. Love is love, and when you find the right person, gender becomes irrelevant. The connection, the partnership, the way they make you feel like the best version of yourself, that's what matters. Sarah and Maya are proof that sometimes the most unexpected love stories turn out to be the most beautiful ones.